Hello, people. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV on this Halloween night. I hope you haven't been eating too much candy or chocolate or whatever it is here or in America. To my right is Lucas. Down the bottom there is Jay, and we're here to discuss West Ham's next game, Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. Lucas, how are you doing, mate?
I'm all good. Been a very slow week on Twitter, YouTube, news in general, unless you're hooked on the Ruben Amorim stuff, which I am not. So slow week for me, not too fussed about all that jazz, but yeah, I'm good.
Good man. Jay, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. It is spooky season. Hopefully West Ham's midfield have stopped becoming ghosts and this is the end of that. But otherwise, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I agree with what Lucas just said. I ain't gonna lie, it's been a slow week. It's been a week of Ruben Alvarez. Why didn't we get him? Let's all kill Sullivan, which is great for me because nothing would give me greater pleasure than to see David Sullivan be exterminated from life. But we're here to talk about Nottingham Forest.
You know what? Just one last thing for me on the Ruben Alvarez thing. Someone did make a really good point the other day that why do we spend all this money on these mediocre players, but we won't spend 10 million euro on a promising manager? I think that's a decent point in a debate to be had. But
you know the reason why?
Yes,
as the fireworks go off. The reason why we won't ever invest in a high-end manager because the high-end manager will have more power than Sullivan. That's the reason why. Yeah. If we go for a lower-end manager, Sullivan holds all the cards. Yeah. Like, he's a man that's got to prove himself to David Sullivan. If we would have went out and got Ruben Alvarez becomes bigger than David Sullivan to a point, and Sullivan can't have that. But let's get into this match preview, lads. Obviously, Nottingham Forest at the weekend. We had a good game last week, good result. Jay, how do we get a result against Nottingham Forest, mate?
I think first and foremost, we've got to keep a very informed Chris Wood as quiet as possible, haven't we? The man
on fire.
Yeah, who would have seen this coming at the start of the season? Anybody who put him in their FPL team early on, you're a genius, honestly. I think that's going to be key. Obviously, they're going to be without star man James Ward-Prowse for the game, who will be unable to play against his parent club. But yeah, they seem to be doing well. Looking at their most recent results, they've picked up a number of wins. I think they've only lost one in their last 7 games in all comps. So this ain't going to be easy at a ground in which we've struggled since they've come back to the Premier League. I was at the Forest ground the first year we went there when Lingard went there.
Oh,
and that
blistering day that was.
It was so hot, but it was just a miserable day. We hit the post. We had a goal
disallowed.
We had a goal disallowed. I think
I was there as well.
We missed a penalty. Mitchell was there. Hello, mate.
Certainly.
So hopefully we can have some better fortunes on the road there because we've struggled recently. But that's
Alfie was there as well, I believe, and I think Mitch and Alfie were one of the many participants with the little paper things having them over their heads.
It was so hot. It was a joke. It was
hard, wasn't it?
And I was in the bit on the right next to the home fans on the right side, and I was directly in the sun the whole game. There's only like a little portion of us that was in the sun, and it was fucking horrible.
Mitch, do a favor real quick. Turn your mic on, or turn your headset off and turn it back on.
It would help. I was going to say this.
You're underwater again.
Why I remember. That was the day when they wasn't going to serve no water or any cold drinks to Mitch, and Mitch went mad that day.
No, someone passed out, I'm pretty sure, at the match.
What about now?
Yeah, you're good. That's a lot better.
We can hear you now, Mitch. What is it you want to say, you bastard? Go on. Take it away.
That
Not
game
the Forest.
was a good game, even though I can't remember the result. What did we lose?
1-0.
No, we lost.
Lost 1-0.
We had about 85,000 attempts on goal. Couldn't score.
Yes, I remember it was all over him. Yeah.
And my favorite
fact... He got thrown at Lingard when he was in the corner.
Yep.
Yeah,
I remember that. And my favorite fact about Nottingham, the only Hooters in the UK. Absolutely. Whoa,
Do you know what? It's actually, I think it's, if I got this right, there's actually more women in Nottingham than there is men. That's a real life statistic.
Really?
I remember someone saying it. Why do you think everyone goes there for stag and end?
Unlucky for you boys.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's actually a good place to go out for a night out. Do you know what I mean? Just don't go into any sort of pubs that are like full of Hell's Angels. Otherwise, you won't come out alive, mate. That's what I'm gonna say on that. Past experience, me. Mitch, what you saying about Nottingham Forest, mate? This weekend.
They're a good little side at the minute, and I think we'll lose. I think it'll be a close game.
Right to it.
2-1.
I love it.
Straight to it, yeah. Fuck it. Carry on, Mitch. Go on. Yeah,
I think that's.
And I think that I just can't. I can't see us beating them at the minute.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be tough.
You thought it was going to be a shit ass 1-0. What you say, Lucas?
I think it's going to be tough. Force are on form right now. Chris Wood is just scoring at will. Doesn't matter what type of goal it is, whether they're, shitty little tap-ins or these weird little goals they just keep giving to him, it seems like. But my FPL's happy. I'm sure Forest fans are happy. But, yeah, I think it's going to be tough, especially away, because it is just a tough place to go ever since, like Jay said, ever since they come back to the Prem. We haven't played well against them, but the place is a fortress, in my opinion. But I think in terms of tactics and the play styles, one against another, I think it will be interesting. But I don't know.
I just think the high line will get cut open like a cake.
I'm just hoping the 3 points that we somehow secured against United will push us forward, hopefully. But to go off last match in terms of just performance, I'm not entirely too confident. But I am a little optimistic.
I'm going to be the positive one tonight. For all you people out there who don't think I'm a positive person, I'm going to be positive. I actually think we might turn them over up there this weekend, but we'll get onto that later on. I don't know why.
Not a chance. I really don't see any chance.
There's only one day. And we'll obviously get on to it. But for me, it's if we sit back a bit and counterattack. That's the only way I see it really going.
They ain't doing that.
Yeah, but their results, blowing smoke up Forest's arse, yeah? Right, they got a draw against Chelsea at Chelsea, fair enough, and they beat Liverpool. The rest of them have been fucking draws.
What have we got? What have we got?
Got Julian Lopetegui. That's who we've got. We got the Spanish butler. Let's go, son. Let's go. Right. Right. Well, I'll get into it then. Let's get into the starting lineup. Take it away. Lucas, what do you reckon for this? I'm going to go around the panel.
I think, I don't know, it'd be a bit weird to start Fabianski last match and then not play him again, in my opinion. So I think he will be back in net. I think we'll see the same back line again, barring late fitness test or whatever the hell happened last match with Todibo. So Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman, Emerson. Then the midfield will be a bit interesting. I think Guido deserves to come back in. I think Souček has to start after last match. And then, that third midfield spot, I really have no idea. It's a mystery. I don't want to see Soler. I particularly don't want to see Paqueta because he's just been woeful. So, for me, that's a bit of a mystery. And I think the front three picks itself to a point, especially with Kudus out. Somerville, I think, has to start to hopefully keep the momentum for him going. Bowen on the right, Antonio up front for me. And, just that third midfield spot, I think, is a good debate. Really, it could be anyone, and I really could care less, to be honest. Or I totally forgot Edson Alvarez for some reason, so never mind. But that midfield three, not the greatest blend, but it might have to go.
All I'm going to say is this year, and I'm going to hand over to Jay. For me, he's got to get this lineup spot on this time. Yeah, there is no more excuses now. We've been getting away with it in games so far this season. I want him to start the strongest players that he's got at his disposal. Crescencio Somerville has to start. I think that's a given. If I see that kid on the bench this week, then you're asking for the sack. You're simply asking for it. Do you know what I mean?
This will be the one where if he does not start him,
regardless of how you may feel about him, because I know there's some people out there, especially on Twitter, that are not as high on him as others, which is fair enough. He's been here for a short amount of time. They want to see something a bit more like concrete with their eyes, but he needs more playing time for that to happen. But it would be criminal to not start him after what he did last match. Bare 100%. Minimum has to start.
100%. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I've thought about this midfield. You say it's been a quiet one on social media this week, which I agree is bliss. It's great. But one thing that was interesting to see, I see a lot of praise coming in for Edson Alvarez. I thought there was things that he did poorly at the weekend, but I do agree there were some things that he did really, really well. I don't know if anyone saw. I saw an article or a headline or something that he's flown over a nutritionist and he's doing extra strength and conditioning to try and get himself to become one of the best in the league. That's all I ask of people. Like that. That's all we want from West Ham players.
Give him new legs. He's too fucking slow.
Yeah. Hopefully his strength and conditioning coach can help him with that. But it reminds me of Jarrett Bowen a few years ago. He did that when he missed out on an England squad. And instead of going out on holiday, apparently he spent weeks and weeks just like running up and down fields to strengthen his legs up so that he could dribble better. And lo and behold, he had a fantastic season straight afterwards because he was just flying from minute one. So you'd hope that we maybe get a bit of a line in the sand from what's been some shaky performances from Edson Alvarez so far, where he's starting to look better and better. So yeah, word on him. I'm hoping for a big performance from him. I wanted to talk about Guido Rodriguez as well. Now, he's improved a lot. Don't get me wrong; he couldn't have got much worse to start with. He just looked so far off the pace. But a couple of really good performances. That first half against Spurs, he was absolutely fantastic. And he's had patches where he's looked pretty good. So I'm hoping that in a game where I expect it to be a bit more balanced, I'm hoping that he can step up and do something. I do feel he's a victim of this flat three that we see in the middle. So hopefully we see something slightly different and we get the best out of it.
It's funny you say that because I mentioned something to Mitch, and I like talking to Mitch about Guido Rodriguez because he's not the biggest fan, or he didn't blow smoke up his ass like a lot of people have. And I mean, me included, but I did predict him to be my hammer of the year. But that's just...
No.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh. But no, I was talking to Mitch, and Mitch agreed with me. I was like, Mitch, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know why Guido Rodriguez has been playing a lot better as of late? It's because when we're in some sort of mid or low block, and he's got everything in front of him, he's quite decent. And then when we win the ball back, he's a good player to get the ball to for him to start the transition.
Sprays it up, doesn't he?
But in transition, it's absolutely dead. But the tactics have to be spot on for him.
But he has to be in a team that's leading. That's the problem.
I don't agree with that personally.
Well, I don't see what else he can do. What does he do when we go 1-0 down? He can't create.
I mean, there's a lot of players you could ask that same question.
Yeah, but do you need two of them in the side if you go 1-0 down? You need a creator. Obviously, our creator is too busy gambling on Betway. So, you know what I mean? That's the fucking problem with him. Do you know what I'm saying? So, right, with him, I think he's done well. Don't get me wrong. But I think these next two games, you're going to see what he's all about.
But again, asking him to defend in transition with a midfield of Alvarez and Souček, or even Paqueta, that's going to be asking for trouble. But the times that we have played to counterattack and we've been in some sort of block, whether you want to call it a mid block or low block, he is defended so much better, much better, completely better. And because of how good he is technically, when we win the ball back and he's the first one that receives the pass, he is far better than some people in our squad of getting the ball and at least playing it forward to the correct person. So that's huge in my opinion. But if you're asking him, if you're asking him to be in a flat three and play this open style, it's going to kill us because we all know how bad our transition defending is. It's absolutely horrid.
Well, our midfield's bad in general. Mitch, what are you saying about the starting lineup this weekend?
I would
Christ.
I think the back four speaks for itself alongside. Although I would start Fabianski. I think Fabianski earned the right to start again. Since, since Aviola's had a shocking start to the season. The midfield is interesting. I do think Rodriguez has been better. I think Lopetegui will try to take it to Nottingham Forest this weekend, and I think he's going to have a mare.
Hashtag analysis.
Because look, the last couple games, honestly, I do think he's improved. He surprised me. Again, it has worked in the way the games have panned out. I was surprised how good he played against Man United. It was much improved, but I do think with the way they press and the midfielders they have, which I think they've got a good. What's the word?
Apparently, no Gibbs White this weekend.
Their midfielders just like they're really on. They're bang on. They'll be bang on us. Unlike United's midfielders, who's slow and a bit lummoxy. So I think Rodriguez will fall victim to that, unfortunately. But I would start him wherever because I think again he's earned the right to start because he's been better recently. So I personally would drop Alvarez this week. I play Suchek and Rodriguez.
No, can't drop Alvarez. You'd be fucking mad. You're fucking mad if you want to drop Alvarez. Why do you drop Alvarez for?
Because he gets caught out all the time. He got caught out a lot against Man United. He loses his man. Bruno Fernandes, the amount of times he ran in and he just was walking behind Alvarez. He wasn't watching his man. He's really got. He doesn't. For a man that seems like he's paying attention a lot, he really fucking don't. He loses his man all the time, and I don't know. And when he shifts into his fucking back five thing, and then a ball goes in behind, and he's lost. He loses when he does that, and he loses his man as a striker that's running in behind. He's fucked. Done it with Nicholas Jackson, for example, earlier on in the season. I just really don't think it works with him.
I agree with that. I just don't think we have.
However, now I'm thinking about it, if they do play Chris Wood, he won't be the top striker to be making them runs. So I understand if you do play Alvarez. It's a debate. It's understandable. I get maybe starting Alvarez now, thinking about it.
I was just quickly on that. Shall I just? There's a lot of talk about who's fit and who's not for Nottingham Forest. I've got a list of their injuries at the moment. Danilo's out. Ibrahim Sangaré out. James Ward-Prowse out. Gibbs White 50-50. Chris Wood has a knock but will likely be fit. Jota Silva is 50-50. Elliot Anderson has a knock as well but is likely to be fit. So we could be playing a depleted Forest side here. So to your point, Mitch, like even if Chris Wood is fit, which I expect him to be, you're right, he isn't that type of striker. I don't expect him to be dragging Alvarez out of position like Nicholas Jackson was. So.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I understand. Okay, what will be your midfield? What will be your midfield then?
You drop Suchek. You play Alvarez and Guido as a two-man midfield.
Lucas said he was undroppable. He's undroppable.
You go 4-2-3-1. Obviously, Lucas Paqueta has to have a good game eventually in time. You put him as a 10. You put Somerville on the left, Bowen on the right, Antonio up front, and you go for it against this team. Do you know what I mean? If he attacks, right, we can do this mob easy. Yeah, but we have to attack. If we sit there, but if we sit there and wait, then we're going to get counted.
Lucas, so what do you think of that then?
I don't want to see Paqueta. I really don't.
The thing is, I don't think you can play midfield of Suchek, Rodriguez, and Alvarez.
I don't think you can either. And I'm telling you right now, Suchek has to start. Suchek has to start. He has. I wouldn't start
Paqueta, and it's just because he's been so shit, and I just don't think he deserves it. And he has been he's literally been a liability in most games for us this season. So for that reason alone, I just don't think you can start him.
I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong, because I said it the other week, how often do you keep starting Lucas Paqueta before you have to take him out of the equation and say, right, let's give someone else a go? The issue I've got is I look at their defence, Forest, and they've got obviously Milenkovic, who Antonio's dealt with before.
He's been so good this season.
Yeah, and their Brazilian, the Brazilian defender, who I think is really good for them. Yeah. So
like Shaqiri.
I feel like if Antonio can push their defenders back, then you got Somerville, Bowen, and hopefully Lucas Paqueta with a sane brain on it can do some damage.
He ain't got the same brain though at the minute, mate.
He ain't. I know. I don't know about you, Jay. What you saying on that?
Do you know? I know this won't happen, but I'd love to just see an old school 4-4-2 and stick Dings playing off of Mikel Antonio, just to see what it does. Because we could sit here all night and talk about this flat three. It is pony. We know it is pony. Like this is the issue. We recruited so badly in midfield in terms of we have a ton of good individuals, but we don't have a number 10. I think we were relying on Lucas Paqueta pulling himself out of his fun.
Oh, an 8.
But I'd say Souček is a pretty capable.
And I'll tell you right now, I don't know what the hell Carlos Soler is. I don't know what he is.
Cardio king, mate. Our cardio king will be there running laps. Like he might as well just be running laps on a touchline. Like I genuinely have thought back on it, and I don't know what he did against.
And that's the thing, right? I agree. It's a good debate, and I agree with what you're saying, Fever. But it's like, in that point, it's like you got to choose between Soler and Paqueta. Basically, and I mean, I would pick Paqueta, but he just keeps stinking up the place.
Yeah, but
I've changed my mind, boys.
Please,
something is.
I play Alvarez, Rodriguez, midfield, and what Jay said, I play a 4-4-2, and I'm being deadly serious. I would start Ings and Antonio up top. I actually think that's probably the best way to go about this game.
Or Ings in the hole. Ings in the hole.
Fuck me! Is this what West Ham's become now? Danny Ings.
I'll tell you a better one now. I know my E16 brother Colin is out there, right? 4-2-3-1. We push Somerville in the 10, and we put Luis Guilherme on the left. Release the Brazilian wonder kid. Release the Brazilian wonder kid.
Joe, what?
I want to see more of this boy. It's really pissing me off.
Yeah.
Joe, what? I wouldn't even be opposed to that, mate. One thing I will say is that this game we're going to have to see a difference in West Ham, like from the last game. Yeah, i.e., we can't start shit in the first half, because if we start shit, we're going to be 2 or 3 nil down.
Same thing every single week.
I know, but I'm like that every fucking week, praying to fucking Jesus, man. I'm like, please, God, give him fucking a chance.
It's not going to happen. If you want to start Paqueta, it's not going to happen. Flip the script. Get Guilherme in. I like it, Jay.
Yeah,
you know what?
I think we need a differential. Yeah. I see someone in the chats just said in training he looks really, really sharp. And this is the thing. Like, I'd love to see us change to a 4-2-3-1, because the flat three is just—it's not working. It's so bad. And I understand. Do you know what I was about to say? I understand what he's trying to do. I actually have no idea what he's trying to do with it. I think it's just we have a real lack of ability in the playing behind the striker kind of role. Stick Somerville in there. Whilst we're waiting for Kudus to come back, I would love to see Somerville go in there.
Please, Guilherme's played in that role, so maybe stick Guilherme in that role.
I'll be honest. For me, we have just been so bad so far this season, and we still have no idea what the way we want to play. That's why, like, when the starting 11 comes out, I really don't get that upset, because I'm like, what else are we supposed to do when everyone's playing so bad? For me, right now, personally, there's a few undroppables. You obviously have Bowen, Kudus when he's not suspended. In my opinion, Souček. And then obviously the back four has got to stay intact, in my opinion. So there's so many different combinations you can have. Like, we mentioned Danny Ings, right? And it sounds so dumb and crazy to say, oh, maybe play Danny Ings in the hole. But I swear to you, that's literally the best he's played at West Ham.
I wouldn't play him in the hole, personally.
But this is the thing. Every time he's played there, it's the best he's ever looked in the shirt, ever. And it's a fact.
I'm not going to lie. If we played Danny Ings and Mikel Antonio, fuck me, what have we become,
it's
man?
crazy.
Unfortunately, this is
But with no Mo Kudus, I mean,
at the start of the season, I'd look at it, and I think, where the fuck have we gone wrong? Especially if we're starting Souček as well in the same team.
It's FIFA 2022. That is. That's 2 years.
But at the same time, it's like you play for the game at the end of the day, and you play the team, you play the best team that you think's going to win the game. I think it makes sense.
I just wish I knew what his tactics were, because then I could agree to a point. But I don't. Like if he wants to counterattack, then I can come up with a lineup I think is good. If he wants to hold possession, I don't think
counter. You don't have to play counterattack in the 4-4-2. I think you can build up play quite well. Just play it to the wings, offer support from the midfield.
Can I ask the question to you?
Just whip them fucking balls in.
Right, can I ask you a question? What happens if he doesn't play Somerville the weekend?
he better pray he gets a result because Twitter and everywhere else, the pitchforks will be out.
Because if
Not
he
for
looks
me,
at it,
but people will be angry.
It's
Because what
sackable
it-
because this boy is so good. I personally really rate Somerville. I think he's an excellent player. And you know, just to try and damage it. You know, if he doesn't start him, it will hurt Somerville. No doubt about it. He'll be pissed off if he don't start.
well, what
So-
it is, you got to look at it. He loves a sub, doesn't he? So he's going to have to have people off the bench to come on and make an impact.
That's why you can start Quet on the bench.
Could do, yeah.
Yeah.
20 minutes to go, bring him on.
Do you know,
Yeah,
I saw, I didn't see the full quote, but I saw something that he was, when Lopetegui was talking in his press conference today, he was asked about like his best lineup, and he said there isn't like one single lineup to win a game, which, and because I had the same reaction, and I was like, well, I actually don't hate that as a concept, right? Because it's a squad game, and the issues we've had in years gone by is we stuck to the same 11 and they just burnt themselves out by the end of the season. So I get that. But the problem is he has repeatedly and consistently got the starting lineup wrong. I'd have no issue if he was changing the lineup and had the bollocks to like change a lineup after we've won a game to basically play the opposition that we're playing. But he doesn't. He seems to change it at the wrong times for the wrong people and then have to correct his own mistakes.
And it only feels like he plays a certain type of way periodically. It feels like he's not playing that set way for a reliable amount of minutes. Like he's playing a certain way for 45 minutes. He's playing a certain way for 90 minutes. It only feels like last match we did go to a bit of a low block or mid block, again, whatever you want to call it. We went to it for 20 minutes, something like that. And again, I agree. I totally agree with what Jay said. Like I'm all for having different types of lineups because, again, I say it all the time. I go back to what he said beginning of the season. He wants to play different types of ways, which I like. I don't like a manager that only has a plan A. I would love if he had a B, C plan, but we still don't even know what our strongest is, and we don't know what our tactics are, our identity is. So it's still a toss.
He's stubborn though. He is stubborn though. Like, this is the one problem I've got with Lopetegui, which I'm going to sort of lead on to him there before we get to the predictions, is that he's got to stop being fucking stubborn. He has. He's just simply got to stop it now. Like, someone had a good game the other day. He has to start. Tadibo has to start. If I see Mavropanos and I don't see Somerville in the starting lineup and Tadibo's sitting on the bench, then how can we support a manager that does not know what the fuck he's doing? Like, that second half team really should start. That's the set. Like, that team in the second half should come out against Forest away, start. But will it though? I wouldn't like to bet on it. I really wouldn't. Like, what are we all saying about Lopetegui in regards of this game and probably the next game and all, to a point?
I mean, realistically, it is an away match. It is Nottingham Forest. Realistically, he's got to get a result. I'm not expecting us to win. I think expecting us to go there and get 3 points is a bit.
Start of the season, though, would you have expected to win?
I mean, I wouldn't know. On paper, maybe.
But like, start of the season, no doubt.
I would say no, personally.
Oh, fuck off.
To win?
Yeah.
Every away match, I think, is difficult.
I agree with Mitch on this. Like, fucking hell, they're not like Brian Barcelona. They're not in fucking Forest, for fuck's sake. We're making them sound like they're fucking like Manchester City reboot.
They're not, but they're playing. But again, hindsight's beautiful, right? But they've been playing well, and it is an away match. So, I don't know.
Jay, what you said?
Yeah, I think to the point, I think before the season, before a ball had been kicked, I would have been looking at this game going, we should go there and win. But with hindsight's 2020, right? This Nottingham Forest team is like it's perfect for Nuno Espirito Santo. It's just like his Wolves team when he had Wolves absolutely flying in the Prem, like way back when. And Lopetegui's had a really tough start at West Ham. I would have had it the other way around. I would have expected us to have like a solid start and Forest to be struggling. So I think before, like, I agree with the point. I agree with the sentiment that like we shouldn't be going to Forest and going, Jesus Christ, we're scared of these. But the form book says that this is going to be a tough game, and you know we shouldn't
be scared. And I don't expect us to get battered or anything, but I don't know. I think going there with the way the season has progressed, going there and expecting to get 3 points is a bit out there in my opinion. I would
I'm
take.
not saying that. I'm just saying. With how shit we've been so far, if we want to turn this around, I'm expecting us to fucking.
Yeah,
get 3
no,
points.
I
Yeah.
agree with, but I'm just
Agree with
giving you my prediction. I don't think we
Prediction?
will
No,
win.
I think we'll lose. But I'm saying because we need to pick up some fucking points now.
If we want to win the Premier League, we got to win every single match from here on out.
It's still
win
on
the
We
league.
still might not win it.
We can still win the double. No, we can't.
Yeah.
Not in your own
But
The only thing I will
can.
say, right? I just want to say this. The only thing I will say before we lead on to predictions, is that I do agree with what Mitch is saying. If you want to turn this around and make a statement, you don't lose the next 2 games. You
No,
don't go and
so-
beat Man United. And I know it was a shit performance and everything. I get that, but you got to build on that. Like you have to build on that Man United win and take it into Forest and Everton. Now, if the next 2 games we get 4 points, I think I'll be happy with that. I really would. If we get 6 points, then fucking great. But I don't expect us to go there and lose at the weekend. I really don't. Not with the talent that we've got. The only way we lose at the weekend is if Lopetegui fucks it himself from the start. Yeah, that's the only way. Like because his tactics and his starting lineups are myth, right to say the least. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's get to predictions.
We have to get 4 points, I think.
4 points is fair.
To steer us back on course for the season, to have any
Yeah.
chance rather of steer us back on course for the season, and having a bit of hope, we have to get 4 points at least, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually agree. Well, Mitch, you've said to us that we're going to lose. What's your prediction, mate, on how we're going to lose?
3-2 Forest.
Classic.
I like it.
Explain how.
Wood.
Oh.
1 goal, 1-0. Forest, we score 1-1. Luis Guilherme comes on. 2-1, West Ham.
Wow.
Forest, Hudson-Odoi. And
Really?
then all of a sudden, Milenkovic. Our transfer target sinks us. 3-2, 79th minute. We try clawing our way back in the game. No chance. So,
That is your fucking bet builders, ladies and gentlemen. Get on the bet builder right there on that. Yeah.
I will build that bet. I swear to God, I will build that exact bet for the game. I see what
Joe,
you're
what? That is a great shout with Milenkovic because we're shit at corners and he is fucking very good at scoring goals from.
We're lucky Ward-Prowse can't play.
Yeah.
He'd eat us alive.
I'll go next. I'm going to disagree with Mitch quite clearly. I got a feeling we're going to win this game. I don't know why. I think we're going to do this team 2-1. The reason why I think big if, ladies and gentlemen, if Lopetegui doesn't act like an absolute cunt and make sure he picks the right team from the start, we win this game. It's as simple as that.
Well, we got to also hope the players don't act like it either.
But he has to pick the right team from the start. If Somerville starts, Debo starts, if Paqueta starts and has a good game, we win the game. It's as simple as that. I think they're a good side, Forest, but I did see Leicester sort of getting behind them and all that. If we can get wingers, right, pushing their wingers back, and I've got Hudson-Odoi and Alanga both defending rather than attacking, then we've got half a chance. And Somerville and Bowen can do that. So I'm saying 2-1. I don't know why. I've got a feeling West Ham might start to turn this season around with obviously this game and Everton. If they can, I'll be happy with that. So 2-1 for me.
James,
Jay,
have you got a disco gun in your room? What was that flashing light there?
Just fucking hell. It's spooky. It's Halloween, son. Jay, what you saying?
I actually completely agree with you. I've got this weird feeling as well. And reason being, I look at that injury list that Forest have got. It's the right time to be playing them. I completely agree with the point that Milenkovic will be an absolute beast, and we have struggled a bit in the air, but their set piece taker isn't going to be there. There's a chance Gibbs White isn't going to be playing, who he normally has a good game against us as well. Yeah. So I just look at it and go, look at it on the flip side of West Ham as well. You're going to have Somerville and Bowen running at them, to your point about getting in behind. And we've got 2 tricky wingers who are going to be up for it on a smaller pitch as well. They isolate a fullback, they're cutting inside and they're shooting. and both of them are capable of cutting inside and bending one top bins. So I've got a weird feeling we're going to win as well. So I'm going to say 2-1 to West Ham as well.
Fucking,
And I'm not saying I'm scared or there's reason to be scared, but again, if Somerville starts, he is going to have his hands full. I think Ola Aina has been very good as well this season. That Forest back line has been good, but yeah.
What are you saying, Lucas?
For me, my predictions are literally going to stay the same all season unless I see something change, because I don't trust the tactics within the midfield. We turn the ball over so easily. We don't get back fast enough. So it's hard for me to predict like 2-1 or 1-0, 1-1, because I think our defending's so bad. I think we will give up at least a goal, but I think it's so bad. Like, I think we'll concede 2. But I think we're good enough to get a draw. So, like, I'm just going to keep predicting 2-2 all season until it happens. But, like, again, we need to sort the transitional defending out, like, ASAP, because that will be the downfall of us. But I don't see it right now. And
sorry, the flashing light, James. What is it?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
television.
So I keep looking at you. You just say like that. So I feel cool when it's just there.
But
carry on, Lucas. That
me-
waste man down there is back.
for me, I'm gonna go. I'm feeling 2-1 Forest. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but our transitional defending is so bad, which is going to put our back four in a bind. And again, like I said last time, how do you expect to keep the goals down when you're constantly being countered 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3? Like it's a tough task, and I just don't know where I see the goals coming from, especially away against a very good Forest defense that's in form. So for me, I do want to say 2-2, but I'm gonna go 2-1 Forest.
What happens before we sort of come to the end? Is it all about the performance, though? If we do lose the game, if we go down fighting and really have a good go, and like it ain't our day, then fair enough. But we can't put a performance in like we did against the first.
It depends. It depends where you're at with the season. Like again, there's a ton of people that think this is a transitional project year. There's some people that are clinging on that we should be fighting for Europe. So it will be two different answers. And for me, I don't think we should be losing this match.
Right.
And same with Everton. I think we should be beating Everton. I'll go out on a whim and say that. But again, there's some people that won't be. They'll be happy with a performance, I guess, even if there's not a result. But that's not me. Like we need to get a result these next two matches going into the last international break at bare minimum.
I get that. I get what you're saying, but I can't see two Manchester United performances from now to the international break. Like, i.e., I can't see a first half where we're getting completely peppered.
Some people will excuse that because it's a project, it's a transitional year. That's not for me.
I know what you're saying, Jay. What are you saying on performance wise?
Yeah, I need to see more. I think we've all probably said similar things. I'm happy to back whatever this project is if they give us something to back, but at the same time, like we literally cannot see another performance like we saw in that first half against Manchester United, because it's just not sustainable. And there's a trade-off in terms of like results and performance. I'm not saying I will just accept like a good performance and accept losing 2-0. There's a trade-off between the two, but we've got to start seeing more signs that we're actually moving in the right direction. Because whilst I won't sit here and be like militantly Lopetegui out, like I'm totally not enthused by him, but if he loses the next two games, worst comes, like if we dare to think that way, it's going to be a lot of noise and it's going to be hard to get away from in like a 2-week international break. Yeah,
I actually agree with you on this. I think there's losing the games and there's a way of losing. And for me, he has to perform, right? And the thing is, if he does pick his starting 11, and it's the strongest 11 that we've got available, instead of fucking about with things and having inside fullbacks going into midfield and all this game. Wan-Bissaka also is going to have a good game also, just to say this, because if he goes forward, they're going to expose him to a point. And he's good at recovery tackles. Don't get me wrong, but he can't do it all.
Can we stop making him the focal point of every single counter attack and in possession?
Can we stop blaming him for being out of position when it's clearly on fucking Lopetegui to get him bombing up the fucking pitch?
And Emerson.
Sick.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Mitch, what final word with you, son? What you saying about performance? Is it about the performance the weekend or not?
I think it's purely about the result this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that this point of the season now we're in. I want to be seeing good performances in the first month or two, and that say we're losing games, but I've hope for the season. I've no hope for this season, so I've no hope for Lopetegui in terms of that he's going to turn it around, because I just don't think he will. I don't know what he wants to play. He don't know what he wants to play. So how can I trust a process when there is no process being shown at the minute? So that's why, for now, we need results.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's all about the W, and let's hope we get the W the weekend. Boys, thank you very much on this Halloween. Let's hope we don't have a fright of our life on Saturday afternoon, mate. Forest away. It's going to be fun. Do you know what I mean?
Spooky.
Let's just hope so, mate.
I'm telling you right now, 10 out of 10 guarantee, 110%, that starting lineup will be spooky when it comes out.
I swear to God, if there is no Crescencio Somerville, the Dutch sensation, then yeah,
Wednesday Adams, watch out, midfield.
I know, man. Anyway, smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, hit notification bell. I'm going to try and get a Nottingham Forest fan on tomorrow. If not, I'll be here Saturday, 5 o'clock, straight after the game with the boys. Let's hope we get a result, mate, for the weekend. Anyway, from me to you, take care of yourself. The shooter's out, but Will Antonio and someone will be out. Let's hope so. Peace.